This is how we roll here at Trionic 7. Saab, Saab, neighbors drive Saabs, Saabs everywhere. Soon it's time to switch to summer wheels on my 2009 Saab 9.5 Griffin, the Phoenix. When I bought the car I got these rims with it. These are OEM Saab rims, the Griffin model, but the summer tires that were on those wheels were worn out, so I had to switch them out. Luckily I've still had my summer wheels from Laxen, the Dotz rims with Michelin tires. During this week now I've taken those tires off the Dotz rims and put them on the Griffin wheels. So these are the wheels I'll be using for the summer. And what we're gonna do today is to prep these Dotz rims for sale. I can never get the pronunciation right, but it's a Dotz Shuriken wheel with 17-inch diameter and 5 bolts for the Saab. And they're real dirty from winter storage and also from the tire shop. You might be asking why I'm using Saab OEM rims when I could have some aftermarket wheels on, but I think it's time for a switch up. I used these ones on Laxen, which is also a laser red car just like Phoenix, and I think probably the aluminium look will fit the color much better. So recently I've been using Michelin summer tires and the Primacy 3 brand, size 225 45 17, and these have a load factor of 94. Yes, I could have used some sporty tires, but I prefer standard tires because this car is a daily and I have a long commute to work. If this were a track car, it would be a completely different equation. The bad thing about the Griffin wheels is that they're actually damaged. The previous owners scuffed them up pretty bad. Actually, all 4 of these rims have similar marks all around. I don't have the budget to get them all refinished, but I know it's entirely possible. But these scuffs are small and they're mostly located on the outside of the rim, not really apparent to a casual glance. But I think it's time to clean up the Dotz wheels, prepping them for sale, which hopefully can bring in some cash. Okay, so I hope it shows up on camera how dirty these rims are. Now we are somewhat working in the sun today. It's still a haze outside, but remember, if you're in a warmer country with strong sunlight, it's not a good idea to do this in the sun. You don't want the degreasers and chemicals to dry onto the rims, which will be very difficult to clean off. But we're up in Sweden and with clouds out there's nothing to worry about. We'll be using 3 different chemistries today. We'll begin by adding a petroleum-based degreaser. That's in my red marked bottle. Some of you guys have asked about these bottles. These are Kwazar bottles. They're called Professional Mercury. It's a 1 liter size and they're supposed to work upside down. Now this isn't really my experience, but they are at least able to work in somewhat of an angle. Maybe I'll do a full review of these bottles later on if you want to, so please tell me in the comments. So we begin by applying a gentle coat of the petroleum-based degreaser, and then we're gonna wait a few minutes to let it soak. The petroleum-based degreaser doesn't really dissolve in water, so you want to apply this to a dry surface, otherwise it doesn't come down to the dirt. So what we'll do now is to let this soak for a few minutes and then we'll apply an alkaline-based degreaser before washing with water. You have to keep an eye on this process so the degreaser doesn't dry out. Okay, a few minutes have passed, which means I'll be bringing out my green bottle. This contains alkaline degreaser, which has a high pH value. And this is my go-to degreaser for anything on the outside of the car. And it's an alkaline degreaser, which means it has a high pH value. So first it was petroleum-based degreaser, now it's an alkaline-based degreaser. And we put it on directly onto the petroleum-based degreaser. I haven't flushed it with water yet. And this is because I want this degreaser to work on both the petroleum-based degreaser and the dirt. And one thing I like about these bottles is that they are double acting. It both sprays when I pull it and then let it go. And this degreaser is water-based, so it has a much higher potential of drying out. So now you need to work quickly and don't slug off. So I take my wheel brushes and start brushing off the dirt. And the chemistry together with the agitation brings up the dirt from the surface and lifts it up and dissolves it with the chemicals. After agitating, I like to reapply some degreaser to reactivate the process. And this reapplication gives me a minute to prepare the water jet. You can use a pressure washer if you like, but today I'm keeping it simple and just using a normal garden hose with a trigger nozzle. And this will now remove all of the loose dirt from the wheels. Normally you need a lot of water to flush all the degreaser out. And now the rims look much better. But I'm seeing this part here, which I haven't seen before. I have to investigate to see if this is clear coat that's gone bad, giving it a discoloration, or if I can get that part removed with my wheel wash. So the last step for today is to use an acid-based wheel wash. Again, the previous degreaser was an alkaline. Now we go to the opposite of the spectrum to use an acid. And this is a low pH value which will dissolve any alkaline-based dirt and break dust and iron deposits. I like to buy all my products in bulk, which means I just have to put a bit in the bottom and then fill up the rest with water. This makes it much cheaper to buy and also cheaper shipping, because you don't have to ship all this stuff, just the concentrate. But as always with acid-based wheel washers, you need to make sure it doesn't damage your rims. Okay, let's go. Remember, never allow these products to dry out. And if you're in warmer weather, you might consider just making one wheel at a time, finishing that off so you don't have to do all four and risk some of them later on drying out. Time to edit it with a wheel brush. Brushing done, let's wash it off. Okay, I just realized I had the camera on the wrong setting, which overexposed, so I hope the lighter parts of the rims didn't overexpose too much to you. But I'm not joking when I said they were really dirty, it's a big difference now. After the final flush, you can just let them dry or use a microfiber cloth to expedite the process. And you can see some imperfections in the rims. For instance, this is some kind of clear coat failure, and there are some scuff marks. For instance, here, I bought these wheels used, so they're not all mine at least. But overall, I think these rims look nice, and I think a new owner will be very happy. Now, it's always dangerous to put something up on sale here on YouTube, so I'm not doing that. Please don't ask me down in the comments or via direct messages if these are still for sale. I'm putting up a separate ad for these rims on a separate site, and the ad will just be up for a few days while this video will stay up forever. So you're probably watching this in the future, and you can be sure that these have already been sold. So this is just a quick wash process. Had these been exclusive, super expensive wheels with some special alloys or coatings, I would have done a different procedure. You probably have a different procedure for washing your wheels. If you like to share it, please do so in the comments, but do so respectfully. Detailing is a touchy subject here on YouTube. But thank you for watching Trionic 7 in this little vlog when we washed and prepared my Dotz Shuriken rims for sale. Be sure to check out our channel, we have a lot more content coming up, and I'll see you soon again. Bye bye.